Hey everyone, Alex back again, and this is also Alex.
Hi.
This is a friend that I've met while here. She's a lovely Russian girl, and uh, yeah, so I thought that it'd be fun to have her guest star in an episode and deliver some commentary. And also, I just told her a story, which her reaction was so hilarious that I had to not only retell the story to you guys, but also get her giggling her head off in the background because it's funny. So, as all of you will know, the Chon Inter is like probably 70% trans women who are staying here for their surgery with Sapporn, whether it is SRS or any other kind of surgery. There's a couple of trans women who stay here who are going to other surgeons. Like, there's a lot of trans people here, and the few people that aren't trans tend to be locals. I'm not sure why they stay here. Sometimes there's like football teams traveling, I guess. But we were out shopping, and on the way back, we passed what was clearly a traveling couple, and they sort of waved, and I waved back, and I didn't really think much of it. But we had dinner downstairs, or I had dinner. Alex here was dealing with an important business call. Excuse me. And thus was not present. But during dinner, and this was a congregation of some 20 people, probably like 17 of which, 16, 17 of which were transgender women, and the rest were their, cis allies backing them up. And the couple that we'd seen early at the restaurant came to say hi and say, hey, how's everyone going? And the people closer to them had a brief exchange with them, and eventually, of course, someone asked, "Oh, are you here for surgery or for revision or?" And they just kind of looked at them really confused, and they're surgery. What do you mean by surgery? And the other girls at the table were just like, "Oh, is she getting her surgery here with Sapporn?" And they're like, "We what surgery?" And so it turns out that this couple is cisgender and has no idea that not only is Chonburi pretty much trans central, but the Chon Inter specifically is. Is that my phone? Oh, excuse me for a moment. Oh no, someone's sitting on the mouse.
Shit. Wasn't me. Can we edit it?
That's fine. Excuse that interruption. Yeah, so they had no idea that Chonburi, and specifically the Chon Inter, is trans woman central, and that everyone is just staying here for their surgeries. And everyone just like instantly assumed this woman was transgender, and it must have been the most fucking backwards, upside down situation that they have ever experienced, to walk to a table where a bunch of women immediately assumed that that woman was trans. And I can only assume what kind of conversations and internalized transphobia is going to be going on in her head when she gets back to her apartment room and realizes that 16 people thought that she was a trans woman and didn't even think twice about it. She's going to be like, do I look like a trans woman? Do I look like a transgender? Yeah, it just reminded me, for any of you at home who want a quick laugh, there is a fantastic Facebook page called Women and Cis Women. And I'll let that page speak for itself. In fact, I'll link it in the description because I'm happy to endorse that page. But essentially, it is a page that satirically kind of says the same things towards cis women as tends to be told towards trans women, hence the page name, Women and Cis Women. It's like, yeah, regular women, and then those cis people. And, as soon as they came to the table, I was immediately like, I wish so bad that this circle was more left and, like, alternative, because the kind of people that I hang out with at home would have ran to the fucking field goal with that shit. They would have immediately jumped on the fact that this couple were cis and had no clue. They would have been like, you're one of those cis people. You're one of those cis people that I've heard about. They did a show in on the news about you the other week.
Yeah, I heard about them.
You heard about them?
Yeah.
Did you hear?
Well, I didn't meet them in person.
You've never met one in person.
Yeah, before that. But well, they look like real people.
They look. Did you know that cis women look like real women?
Like a regular girl.
Like a normal woman. They're just normal people
but
like
it
us.
was a couple.
It was a couple.
So I wonder how they do sex. I don't know how they do it.
I mean, like, they have, they have like different parts, right?
Yeah.
Like, they have different parts, not the same parts. They have different parts. How does that work? How who's
Anyway, I think that it is very brave of her.
Yes.
To be like this.
Very, very brave. I really support what she's doing. She's a very strong woman.
I admire her.
She likes. They prefer to be called women, right?
I
Like,
don't
you
know.
use female pronouns for them.
Maybe we should ask. I don't know.
We should definitely ask. We'll ask her if we see her again. We'll ask her whether we're meant to call her a girl or a trans girl, or a cis girl. But if she's a cis girl, wouldn't that mean that she's trying to be a man? Like, if she's cis, then that means she's trying to be a man, right?
I don't know. It's too complicated, really. This gender thing confuses me, really.
Yeah, we really need to just keep politics out of it and keep it nice. And if you're either born a man or a woman, and obviously women have penises and men have vaginas, and you can't change biology. That's just the facts.
That's fact. Yeah.
That's fact. You can't. That's science. All right. Okay. So, with that out of the way, let me give you a regular. Do you still want to be here for my regular update? Because I'm gonna bitch about Sapporn. I'm gonna.
Oh.
Do you want to endorse that, or do you want me to just kind of edge the camera?
No, I don't mind.
You don't mind?
Yeah,
Okay.
of course. I've
So,
been to Sapporn.
You've met the guy.
Yeah.
I've heard he's cis.
Really?
So, jokes aside, update on my status. Things are going really well. I'm back to 100% full depth, and I'm really happy about that. And it turns out that Sapporn isn't happy about that. He wanted me to stick to not full depth, which I was under the impression that as soon as it was easy for me, I should go back to dilating regularly. But he told me in my checkup today that I should stay at about 5.5 inches. The other thing that he told me is that I should expect to stay there, potentially, maybe. That there's a chance that after all this recovery from revisionism, that I might be at 5.5 inches of depth. Now, I checked very carefully with Sapporn before I did this revision that I would in fact not lose depth, and he assured me that I would go back to my full depth, and now he's telling me you should just stick to 5.5 inches, you shouldn't go to full depth, and you might not get 6 inches back. He said, like, you should expect 5 3/4, and I'm sitting there like, this is not what you told me, doctor. This is actually, objectively, not what you told me. Now, I've said some shit about Sapporn in the past. I'm happy to criticize the guy, unlike pretty much every other fucking person here who will lick his goddamn boots. But, I've said that even though he offers probably the best aftercare of any surgeon in the world, and indeed, I will say quite happily that he's probably the best SRS surgeon in the world, I'm still going to talk up when I find things lacking, and that's just when it's lacking. That's when I think that he could improve. This is straight up, that guy lied to me. I'm not happy about that. I'm quite cross about that. There was also another issue where he was like, "Oh, so how is your douching going?" And I'm like, "You literally never told me to douche. I very carefully noted the instructions that I was to follow, and I was not told to do that. So that one's not really a big deal. I'll start douching." He said to do it for another week. I mean, I haven't been doing it at all because he didn't tell me to, but I guess I'll start douching for a week. Um, and yeah, he's also told me. He then told me that I should. He asked how much I'm currently dilating, and I said twice a day, as you told me to do. And he said, "Okay, do less if it's really easy." And so I was kind of like about to say, "Well, it's really easy, so I guess I'll go down to one a day now." And he said, "Oh, and keep doing it twice a day for 2 months after revision." And I'm like, "Wait, so I should do less if it's easy?" And he said, "Yes." And I said, but I should do it for another month and a half." And he said, "Yes." Those two facts kind of contradict one another. I mean, unless that was language barrier, he meant to scale down revisions after the 2 months, but that's not what he said, and is definitely not what he conveyed. And I think Saporn's English is better than that. I've had a lot of appointments with the guy, and I don't think his English is so bad that he would convey that poorly. So I don't know whether he just assumed that my dilations wouldn't be that easy. I can go back to the large now, which I'm going to do, but carefully. I am going to follow his advice of not getting to full depth with the large. However, and I'm saying this outright, so if something goes wrong, you can hold me accountable for this one, right? But I am going to continue to go to full depth with the medium because I do not want to go down to less than 6 inches. Because that was what I was told. I was told, starting this revision, that I would not lose any depth. Right? So, if something fucks up, you can hold me accountable, but you heard it here first. That guy promised that I would not lose depth, and now he's saying I might. So, in retrospect, I'm real fucking glad that I didn't do the posterior commissure, because, again, when at the start of the thing, when he said, like, that he would do the posterior commissure, which he immediately, like, I immediately realized he couldn't do that, but, whatever, I'm not going to question the guy about his job. Immediately after realized he couldn't do that, but when he was saying that he would do the posterior commissure, and I wouldn't be able to dilate for a month, he again told me that I would keep my full depth. So now I'm thinking, like, how much depth would I have lost if I had have done that? Would I be down to a flat 5 inches? Like, less? Like, what are we talking here? If he just lied to me about keeping my depth after just a short recovery, when the posterior one would have been a lot longer. I'm doing some trash talking right now. I'm throwing some fire. If Saporn's fucking lying to me about bullshit, that's something that you guys need to know. This is an SRS vlog. It is a vlog that people are going to use as a resource to decide whether they want to have surgery, whether they want to have it with Saporn, and how they're going to approach it. So, me to you, Saporn lied to me. That's a really weird thing to say. Like, yeah, the most reputed surgeon in the world just flat out lied to my fucking face, and could have, for all I knew, like, botched a part of my recovery, or botched a part of my result. Worrying. So yeah, I'm going to continue to full depth with the medium. If that tears the anterior commissure, I don't care. I'm not losing any depth. I'm upset enough that I went from 7.5 inches to 6. I'm not losing any more than that. And if that means tearing the anterior commissure that I wouldn't have gotten if I'd known there was a chance it would cost me depth, then so be it. I guess we'll do some tearing. I guess we'll crack open some stitches. Yeah, fuck it, I'm doing it. Yeah, that's about all there is to report. I leave tomorrow. Alright, I did want to clear up. I went to Central yesterday, and that place has changed a lot since the last time I went there. Anyone who saw the first range of videos will remember that I talked about how great it was, and how there was like, I went in there and there was like really trans friendly stores, and there was like this big congregation of lingerie stores where I walked in and a woman immediately helped me find a bra, which is to this day the only proper fitting bra that I own, and I talked it up really big. It doesn't seem to be the case anymore. All of the clothing stores were, all of the the floor one clothing stores were very much sort of standard Thai stuff. This is probably going to be really offensive, but Thai fashion in Australia at least would be kind of considered old lady fashion. There's a lot of a lot of like a lot of beads, a lot of crystals, and I don't mean that like spiritual ones. I mean just like decorative ones that like 50-year-old British women wear. I mean, in a nutshell, I would describe their fashion sense as 50-year-old British women. Not the random people, but the stores, which is kind of weird. Like you see people on the streets and like no one is dressed like that, and it's like who are they marketing it to? But yeah, it turns out that now all the cool stores are on the ground floor, which you have to go down an escalator from the floor that you start on to get to. And then there's a few sort of cool punky stores down there. There was one really like queer store that we found that had like rainbows everywhere, and as we were shopping, a lesbian couple came past us holding hands, and it was like the most fucking adorable thing in the world. So there's some cool stuff down there, but it's not the same place that it was. There was only one lingerie store in the entire place, and it certainly wasn't catering to trans women. The biggest they had in an A cup was like it'd be like a 10 in Australian size. I think to Thai size that translates to like what a 60A or something like that. That was the biggest A cup that I found, and they had like I think I saw an E cup or something. So obviously they're catering to travelers, but not specifically to trans women, which seems like a bit of a waste in Chonburi. And more importantly, just to let you guys know that it is not consistent with what I said from my last visit. You can no longer just kind of walk in there and get a bunch of trans happy fashion. But yeah, the ground store stuff was still good. I ended up buying a skirt. Alex bought a bunch of stuff. You bought like a full like denim like skirt and jacket outfit, which looks really cool but really weird but really cool.
Well, I'm really weird and really cool.
You are. Heard it here first. So yeah, I ended up going back to the what's that place called? The Plaza.
Central Forum Plaza. I guess.
Forum Plaza, that's the one.
Forum Plaza. Yeah.
I ended up going back to Forum Plaza, and I found a lot more stuff there than I did last time. But I'm not sure whether that's because there was cooler stuff or just because I've kind of gotten more used to the kind of clothes that I can wear now that I've A, gone down several sizes, and B, no longer have a penis and testicles. So there's a lot different clothes that I can wear, and I think that probably contributed to like the cool stuff that I found there. There's also a pretty cool clothing store like right next to the clinic. It's right next to the Blue Bridge for anyone who visits, and I found a bunch of cool stuff there. A lot of it was too small, especially the dresses. But I found this super slutty crop top looking thing, which is pretty cool, and and a cardigan, which is really nice, like a sort of transparent, like sort of gothy looking cardigan. There was some other cool stuff. There was some like it was like this cool athletic crop top thing, which didn't really fit me, but might fit someone else. Yeah, there was some cool stuff in there, so that's worth checking out. And yeah, that's about it. Central doesn't seem to be as cool as it was when I last visited. I don't know if that's because it's changed or because I just got really lucky. But yeah, heads up, don't set your expectations as high as I did, because I went there and I was super disappointed that I couldn't get the stuff that I got last time. And that's about it. I head home tomorrow. My flight is at 9 p.m. I'm going to be leaving here at like 5. Not really much to report. I've gotten my timers now, so from date of revision, it's 2 months till I can have sex or masturbate. It's 2 months till I can exercise properly. Saporn said another month until I can get to depth, but we've already had that discussion. I've got to be using the Silvex cream for another 2 weeks. I've got to be using the betadine for another week. Yeah, another week on the betadine, another 2 weeks on the Silvex, and that's it. That's it. And then I'm done. So it's been, then I can move on with my life from this fucking this whole SRS ordeal. It's so weird being here because I have to constantly be like, all right, everyone, every time someone asks me about my experience isn't the norm, but just so you know, it can be horrible. The whole recovery process can be fucking awful. It usually isn't, so try to stay positive, but sometimes it is. Wish for the best. Good luck. So yeah, my revision's practically done. I'll probably make a final vlog, sort of signing off when I'm completely done with recovery. When I'm back to when I'm back to like one dilation every fucking 3 days or whatever. At the moment, I'll probably still do 2 a day for like 2 weeks. I think I'll keep doing 2 a day until the Silvex thing is up. And after that, I'll probably scale back to 1 a day, because the main thing he told me was to dilate less if it's easy, and it's fucking easy right now. But maybe it's just easy because my method of comparison is it being monstrously stupid hard.
Well, if he said 2 months, let it be 2 months.
I'm gonna give it a month. I'm gonna give it a month because frankly, Saporn he's said some shit. I do not officially endorse you ignoring Saporn's orders. I think that you should follow Saporn's orders, but in my personal experience, he's given me reason to doubt him. So, anyone else I'll tell just do what the doctor says, but me personally, I'm gonna not do that because he misled me and lied to me. Alright, so yeah, that, I guess this is like the second last episode. So it's been fun. I'll see you guys later. And Alex says bye as well.
Yeah, I said bye, of course. Пока-пока.
Papka?
Пока-пока.
Papka.
Bye-bye in Russian.
Bye bye.